Weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number if you would like to talk about anything. Is today Monday? It's Monday already? Wow. I woke up this morning. I didn't even remember what day it was. I was like tooling around, everything. Like, hey, you you know you got to go to work today. I was like, oh, wow, what is today? It's Monday. Oh, okay. So here I am, one day more than yesterday. By the way, at 6 o'clock, you'll hear Truth Unfiltered with Little Old Me. So you got 4 hours of me harassing you and talking all kind of crazy stuff and doing all kind of crazy things. So you'll have a good time. And then I'm here from 4 to 6, of course. You can always go to youtube.com/@101.7 The Truth and hit the notification bell. And that way you'll be notified every time one of your wonderful, truly beautiful Truth hosts, with the exception of Sherwin. He's not beautiful. But I'm just kidding. Beautiful hosts come on the air. So here we are. We're hanging out. So far, everything is going as planned. Everything is great. It's a little cold outside to me, though. I'm not really working with this cold thing. It's been driving me, a little crazy. I got to wear long sleeves. Plus, I'm getting old, so 60 degrees for me. 60 degrees for me is cold. Oh my gosh, I'm getting cold. So at least I admit it, right? I'm going to. I can't use those words, because I can't stand when people say it. I'm going to lean in. Don't you hate lean in? Lean in is a dumb phrase. I'm going to lean into that particular thing as it relates to, being an elder in the city of Milwaukee. Don't tell anybody I said this. If you know anybody from Chicago, do not tell them I said this, okay? I like it here. I enjoy being in Milwaukee. I really, really do. I've met some wonderful people. I've met some interesting people. Truth Nation is off the chart. Love all y'all. I'll jump in the YouTube chat and the talk and text line a little later. But I wanted to know, most people have done it. No, most people have said it. I haven't seen it on the news per se, because I haven't been watching the news. I've been scouring the internet and on CBS 58 and Fox 6 Now and WISN and The Root and The Griot and Black Enterprise, looking at what's going on in the black community all over the country. And I was notified this morning that Milwaukee lost a witness. Well, what does that mean? Milwaukee lost a witness to what black people had to overcome, actually lived through it, a witness to what black people built anyway. And when I talk about this, I want you to think about 101.7 The Truth and all the other black entities in Milwaukee. A witness to what black people built anyway. A witness to time when being qualified didn't necessarily mean accepted. Being educated did not mean being respected. And being a medical doctor still did not mean a bank in Milwaukee would loan you money. Dr. William Finlayson delivered generations of babies in this city. I have not met a person, and I don't have a big crowd of people I know, but I haven't met a person who's Gen Z or older millennial whose mother did not have Dr. Bill Finlayson as their OBGYN. There's a report on Fox 6 that talked about how he opened a clinic at Titonia Nash, helped bring countless lives into the world. I don't even think you could count the amount of babies he probably delivered over time. But his life and his legacy and his story was never just about being an OBGYN. It was about access. So as an OBGYN, he gave mothers access to quality care. It was about dignity. It was about what happens when a black professional with a professional degree, a medical doctor, runs into a locked door, right? And decides to build another door. I'm going to knock a hole in the wall next to where there's a locked door and build my own door. When he couldn't get fair access to credit, get this, even as a medical doctor, and medical doctors have been pretty well paid. It's not great because you be trying to live and keep up with the Joneses because everybody else is living large, you living large, but you're not really, because if you rocking 95% of your income is going out the door, you're not living that well. I don't care how much money you make. He helped launch North Milwaukee State Bank. In Milwaukee, that matters because banking is not just about money, it's about belief. People believing in you. It's about whether an institution believes you are worthy of investment, whether or not the black community was worthy of investment. It's about whether your dream gets funded or forgotten. And I know a lot of people on Capitol Drive and in that neighborhood who got funded all over the city. Because in Black Milwaukee, too many dreams were not rejected because they were bad. They were rejected because you're black. Think about that, to have to go through life knowing that you have every single pedigree that every other person has, and you've exceeded their pedigree. Attended Florida A&M University, graduated from Morehouse College, went to Meharry Medical School, did internship and residency in Minnesota, came to Milwaukee, built a house, a life, a career, a family, and still get rejected. Not because you don't have the grades, not because you don't have the degree, not because you don't have the work ethic. You got rejected because you are black. Had to fight to get privileges at a hospital. And then in Milwaukee, they would only give him privileges to one hospital. And so everybody that's black went to that hospital. So I started asking around, what hospital were you born in? This one, this one, this one, this one. The same hospital. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, why? Because that's the only place they would give black doctors privileges. But if you look at Milwaukee today, Bill Finlayson delivered babies, but he also delivered possibility. He's built institutions, clinics, banks, education, culture, community, all that. Unfortunately today, too much of what was built in Black Milwaukee has either been closed, renamed, sold, forgotten, absorbed, or just kind of left decaying, and it's only a memory. We celebrate pioneers after they die. The black community's issue is we don't always protect what they built while they're alive, present company included. And for us today, at 10 minutes after the hour, that is the challenge. Because legacy is not just applause, right? We lost things because we didn't maintain things. You talk about losing stores, you talk about losing groceries, and all these things in the city. We cry and complain about houses and all that, losing it, but we don't support each other. We don't maintain ours. We give it away, we sell it. And you can't bash people for making money for their legacy and their children and grandchildren. And the only way to do that is maintenance. Black people need to maintain their own community. If the city won't give you money, you develop the money, you put it together, you go through the only entity, as far as I know, that the city can accept money, and through the Library Foundation, and you target that money and you tell them this money is for that. Fix the road, build this, do that. And you tell them what you want. You maintain the legacy. Legacy means keeping the clinic open when they want to close it, keeping the bank strong when they want to close it, keeping schools accountable when they want to close it, keeping the library funded when they want to close it, keeping the museum that we don't have built and alive. You know, at some point, we're going to drive through Milwaukee. We're going to have a lot of brown signs, neighborhoods. And the only way you keep a memory alive is with a brown sign because you rename the street after that person. But yet we never teach black kids, who is that person? You got stuff all around the city named after Val Phillips. You got a street named after Bill Finlayson. But I guarantee you, Most people under 40 couldn't tell you who he was. Bill Finlayson died at 101 years old. He lived long enough to see 4 to 5 iterations of change in Milwaukee. But I wonder what he thought when he saw some of the doors that he helped open and build begin to disappear. Those same clinics, his own Milwaukee, North Milwaukee State Bank, all the grocery stores today, and much of the opportunity. And then, as we are today, we're losing access. And then we lose trust. And then we'll get to a point where nobody will know their name. Nobody will know the family name, Finlayson. That's the name I heard when I first moved to town. Hey, do you know Bill Finlayson? Who is that? Don't matter. Do you know him? No, you need to meet him. Huh? Do you know John Daniels? No, you need to meet him. Why? Don't worry about it. You need to meet him. We used to be in a place where somebody knew their story and that they were worth serving. I'm not going to honor Dr. William Finlayson by just saying, oh, he was great. I'm honoring him by asking, what are the buildings? What are we building? And what are the buildings that should still be here when we're gone? We know what's not here now that he's gone. What are we building that'll be here when we're gone? Because he didn't just make a living. He and his wife, Edith, who was profound in her own way, made room. They made room for black babies. They made room for black families. With all the scholarships, they made room for black students. And now every time I pass a clinic, don't care whose name is on it, every time I pass a library, every time I did that today, driving in, every time I passed a clinic or a library, it reminded me of Bill Finlayson. Unfortunately, the only word it conjured up was closed.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Are you planning a special event? Do you need a personal chef? Either way, make it tasteful. I'm Alicia the Chef, owner of Tasteful Events Catering, and we create customized food experiences for any occasion. We bring quality, flavor, and professionalism to every table. Whether it's a special event or everyday meal solutions, we focus on delivering more than just food. We create experiences. Book today or learn more online at www.tastefuleventscatering.com.
Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Work this! Overtime.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. 47 degrees. The high today was 50. The low tonight is about 38. That's close enough to freeze and to get me up out of here. Hey, you want to tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 between me and the Tori Lowe Show. We'll be speaking with Nicole Lorino. She's the 2026 chair for March for Babies. She'll be discussing how March for Babies brings families and caregivers together to support healthier moms, stronger babies, and life-saving NICU, that's neonatal ICU, care through the March of Dimes. Again, that's Community Spotlight this Wednesday with the March of Dimes at 3:57 on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. 19 minutes after the hour. 47 degrees. It's been chilly all day long. I ran across a story today on CBS 58 that I gotta applaud. I have to give Governor Evers and the legislature, Republican legislature, a high five. Governor Tony Evers, Assembly Speaker Robin Voss, and the Senate Majority Leader Devin Lemieux announced today they have reached a bipartisan agreement to spend a portion of the state's surplus on K-12, property tax relief, and direct payments to working families. The package reportedly includes more than $600 million for K-12 schools, the largest increase in state special ed reimbursement rate in state history, bringing the rate to 50%, according to the governor's office. It also includes $300 million in general school aid and $50 million in additional property tax relief through the technical college system. Under the deal, Wisconsin residents who filed individual tax returns for 2024 with at least 90% of income from Wisconsin sources would receive $300, while married couples filing jointly would receive $600, with the announcement noting that over 3 million Wisconsinites would be eligible. The agreement also eliminates state income tax on cash tips and overtime pay. That is remarkable. The package is set to go before the Joint Committee on Finance tomorrow, with full legislative votes expected on Wednesday. Governor Evers said in the announcement he anticipates signing the proposal as early as next week. How you feel about that? 833-212-1017 is the number. Are you in agreement with this decision or no? I happen to think, well, I'll tell you later. You tell me first. Are you in agreement with this decision? It's tax relief, right? That, along with Trump saying that he's considering cutting the gas tax for a limited amount of time to save people money. That may go far too, although I don't know. Well, that's why I'm sitting here in front of Google. May as well check. What is the federal gas tax amount per gallon? And right now, the gas tax is 18.4 cents per gallon and 24.4 cents for diesel. And so let me see. Let me ask another question. What's the average size of car gasoline tanks? Just the average. Just the average. Between 12 and 16 gallons. So let's say 14 gallons, right? Let's say 14. Let's say 14. So if you got 14 gallons on average, you fill up your car, and you're paying 18 cents, 18.4 cents per gallon, you're saving about $2.57 every time you save up your car. Now, we say, well, that's not a lot of money. Well, it isn't. Need only $2.47, something like that. Need $2.57. Need that, don't have it, and then see what happens. I'll take whatever amount I can get. And some property tax relief. And some, it's not a lot, but it's enough for those of us that pay more. I'm just saying. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. Is this a good idea? Matter of fact, if we can just throw that in the YouTube chat, I'm interested in seeing whether or not people agree as to whether or not do they agree with this decision, this bipartisan deal to save taxes and give money to special education. If we can give money to special education, we can get more teachers. If we can get more teachers, we can remove those students out of other classrooms where they might be disruptive, and give them one-on-one care and better care from assistants and special ed teachers. I think that's something that could be done. That's what I think. And somebody asked, SE asked in the YouTube chat, what happened? Who was that? No, I'm sorry, Mao asked. Dr. William Finlayson, for those of you who hadn't heard, 101 years old, passed away this morning. And, you know, of course, we're going to keep his family and friends and everyone in our prayers. So, all right. But it's a point where we're going to be able to send money to schools, and that should help out MPS. It should help people be able to, you know, take care of their kids, make sure the schools get a little extra money. It's going to be spread out throughout Wisconsin, so it won't be a lot. It might end up being, you know, maybe $5 million. Maybe $10 million for MPS, but with a budget deficit of 46, that just might help them not having to cut teachers or spread out their cost of living increase, being able to give it to them in the fall instead of giving it to them in January, or cutting it half in the fall, half in January. That's what I'm talking about. So I think it'll help. Or you'll be able to take that money. There are a lot of things and a lot of flexibility that MPS will now have, that the Wisconsin technical system will have, that'll relieve debt for us. It'll relieve taxes for us, so that we'll have a little bit more. But all those together might end up being another $100, $200 a year that we don't necessarily have. Is it a lot? No. Will it help our children in schools? Yes. If you got comments about it, 833-212-1017 is the number. I'll wait for any calls, and I'll go through. And on the YouTube poll, if you're at 101.7 The Truth on YouTube, is, do you agree with the bipartisan decision? It's money that we got from the federal government. It's been sitting there. He's only wanted to use it for schools and schools alone, which I think is idiotic. But, and notice I said the action is idiotic, not Governor Evers. He's a fairly smart guy. He made it to governor. But at some point, this is what I like to see. Republicans sit down with Democrats. Horse trade, give and take. That is what government is supposed to do. We have to sit down and compromise. You want some stuff, I want some stuff. We both get what we want. We just don't get as much as what we want.
And I think that's something that I like to see. That is why I don't like government that's all Republican, and I don't like government that's all Democrat, because then they will dismiss what the people want, and they'll just do what the party wants. That's the problem. Now you got people on both sides saying, I want money for education, I want money for tax relief, I want money for gas relief, I want money for this, for that, and they had to come together and say, you know what? Yeah, come midterms, none of us might be here. That is true. That is very true. Miss Carolyn, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Well, Dr. Ken, good evening, and how are you doing this day?
I am doing wonderful.
I came in on the tail end of this conversation, but my thing that I've been hearing a lot about is MPS wanting a lot of money, right? So I'm just like this.
Say that again.
I'm still stuck in my head.
You believe about MPS?
I'm stuck in my head about how they need all this money, right? And I'm like this, and call me crazy or whatever, but first of all, if you're in such a deficit hole, why would you bring a superintendent in and pay her a salary like she's a Fortune 500 boss? That right there, I didn't understand to begin with, because you're broke. So you're going to bring this lady in and give her what? I think I heard 300 something.
400,000
making a year.
It's 400,000.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay.
Why? Wait. Why is it ridiculous?
Because first of all, you already in a budget hole, and then you're going to bring somebody in from out of town, no doubt, and pay them a Fortune 500 salary.
Why not?
No, and then
why not?
Teachers.
If you had a company and it had 10,000 employees and you had a budget of $1.1 billion, wouldn't you want somebody that had the experience and was able to handle that on a professional level?
First of all, from what I've been hearing about her track record and stuff, was she really the right candidate?
Well, we're not talking about track record. We're talking about today. We can't change the past. So
but
talking about that, but it doesn't.
I wouldn't pay her that money. I just wouldn't. I think it makes no sense at all. I wouldn't have gave her that.
Would you pay somebody if they worked at a Fortune 500 company with 10,000 employees? Would you pay them that much money?
Because they're there for a profit. This is a non-profit organization. Only person supposed to profit out of this is our children.
We need to stop going through life thinking like that. That's why black people don't have anything. You make what the market will bear. You make what the market will bear.
So you said that I'm talking about this educational piece. I know
that's what I'm talking
about the market bear. I'm talking about for profit, but I don't see non-profit.
There's no such thing as for-profit and non-profit. If you want me to keep the place going, keep the lights on, and keep the thing moving, and keep the ship floating, you got to pay me for that. I don't care if it's non-profit, for-profit. You get paid for what you're worth. You're saying that if you work in education, you should have it. So why are the teachers fighting for more money if they don't feel like they're worth? They feel like they're worth more. Why wouldn't a superintendent want that?
First of all, just like those teachers, they have to prove themselves. You bring in a person and you pay them that kind of amount of money. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. I know I'm old school and whatever, but
nobody's going to start over every single time they start a job. I'm not going to make 250 and then go back down to 100 and then go back, work my way to 250 and then go back. My experience over time, you pay for that.
But that's what they want the teachers to do. So why is it fair?
No, they don't want the teachers to do that. The teachers don't want to do that. They just want their money.
They don't want to, but we've been hearing this mess about, you can reapply for your job and this, that, and other stuff. No.
That's the nature of education. No. That's the nature of education. That's just how education works. You can't apply.
I don't care what else.
Okay, go ahead.
These kids have not had a good shake in Milwaukee. I'm not a Milwaukee, but I've been here for 20 years, and I've been watching this. MPS been in a shambles since.
But that's not her fault. With all due respect, that's not her fault.
I'm just saying,
she came into this mess to fix it. She came in early to fix it.
But I'm saying, Dr. King, you could have found somebody that would have took the job because their heart was in it, and knowing that this school district is.
Are you making an assumption that because she gets paid $400,000, her heart's not in it?
My heart would be in it too if I'm getting paid $400,000.
But that's not what you just said.
I'm saying that I'm pretty sure they could have found somebody just as educated who would have said, "Oh, we're in trouble." How many people did they interview?
And
not too many from what I heard.
They interviewed a number of people, and they whittled it down to 3 people. And then they had public input, and then the board voted. That was the process. We followed the process here.
And then I went to some of them board meetings. Some of them board meetings and stuff was part of the calamity. So how the heck do they still get to be board members? I don't understand.
They got voted in. Because the teachers union pushes to push nonsense, and they got voted in.
And that's why I say these people out here better get off of their behind because they taxpayers. Because I see a whole lot of, as you say, nonsense stuff going on in Milwaukee County.
But here's my question.
We don't get up and go here.
But why don't we complain about that stuff with business? Why don't we complain about that stuff with Fortune 500 companies here in Wisconsin? We let people walk over us, and then the lowest hanging fruit is MPS, and now we want to bash the leadership. At least give them a year or two to fix it. Let them try to fix it.
And I totally agree with you because I sit back and I watch, and you're right. Some of these companies here and stuff, I'm just amazed at how people would just take crap from them and be like, oh, I got to go there. No, I don't have to do anything but except for be black and diet, and that's it. I don't have to buy your product if you're not treating me and my family right. Yep. No. Yep. I can go across the border if I want to.
That is true.
But they don't take that initiative. They just will take people shoving stuff down their throat. I guess I'm just so fed up with seeing it because from being the kind of person where I've traveled around the world, I've never seen nothing like this. I'm like, what is we doing? Just what? We're doormats. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, thank you much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. King.
All right.
Bye-bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. We got more calls. We got talking text. The YouTube chat is blowing up. I think I might have caused a little trouble. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
We do have some delays out there on southbound 41, pretty much stretching from Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Northbound's backed up just before Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. Got delays on eastbound 94, starting at 76th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound from 35th to Hawley Road, west of Highway 100 into Waukesha County to about Elm Grove Road. And then we've got northbound 894 backing up from Howard Avenue all the way up to National. Northbound 4394 out of the Plainfield Curve all the way up to Chase Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny skies, a high of 52 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries. And dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the Fresh Coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
This sports update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Milwaukee Brewers get the Mother's Day weekend sweep against the New York Yankees this weekend. Bryce Terang with a crazy ending to the game.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone! Another Mother's Day miracle for the Brewers. Straight away center field. Number 6 for Bryce Terang, and it's a walk-off for the Crew of the ninth.
The Crew is back at it tomorrow against the San Diego Padres with first pitch at 6:40. No lottery luck for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Pick number 10 will be made by the Milwaukee Bucks.
The NBA draft lottery was Sunday, and the Bucks did not move up. They sit at 10. The Washington Wizards earned this year's first pick, and draft day is June 23rd. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 39 minutes. 39 minutes. See, I could count. I went to public school. 39 minutes after the hour. Our poll for the day, do you agree with the bipartisan decision that the governor and the Republican legislature made? 67% right now say yes, and 33% say no. Speaking of no, Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. He says no about everything.
Hey, wouldn't it just been easier just to close NPS down for a year so they can reconstruct everything and just send the kids to, charter schools? Like, I know she's just coming into this situation, and even before the situation, it was always issues with money and things of that nature. But wouldn't it just been easier to close NPS down for a year and then just reconstruct it?
No. No, you're gonna have to drive the car and repair it at the same time.
Okay, or what the parents need to do is just yank their kids out of NPS.
And then you're going to shut down an entire system where other parents can't afford to send their kid to a private school, and so they'll lose out.
It's not. Well, I don't want to say it's about the other parents. It's about what the parents can do for their kids.
Exactly. That is exactly my point.
And if the kids is not getting accurate, the right education, then you get a second job or a third job so your kid can get the right education.
But I, as a parent, may not have the education and wherewithal to go get another job.
Well, I don't want to say all that. If you can make it to church,
but wait a minute, you can't come up with a solution and then not look at all the barriers to the solution.
I know I understand there's barriers, but when parents want something that's not important, they find a way to get it. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of things these parents be getting that's not important.
But if I wasn't taught that, I don't know that. And we have a generation that doesn't want to listen to anybody. And that's fine, but then I have to make you susceptible to your decisions. And if you make a bad decision, you'll have to live with it. Unfortunately, your kid will too.
Well, but we know all these people are bright, smart, and intelligent, and they have the free will. So if they don't use the free will, then that's on them. But don't cry about it, saying they're not getting the right thing, and you're not trying to do the best to make sure they get something better. Because I understand parents might not have everything, but when it's something that's not important, they always find a way. That's all.
All right.
But have yourself a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's much tougher than it looks. But because we've generated a society and a generation where we don't generated a generation. Anyway, it's kind of redundant. Created a generation where we have not allowed them to go through anything or struggle with anything. They don't have the intestinal fortitude. That's why we have men who literally don't know how to be men. We have boys who don't know how to be men. That being a man and being strong and honorable and character and trustworthy has nothing to do and doesn't denigrate women in any way. You shouldn't push women away. Women have made remarkable strides, and they need to make more and should make more. But that doesn't take away from men being men. We've just generated a generation that just trashes men. And part of our issue is we trash men. And it's time to step up and be a man and do it right and do it the way you're supposed to be. Not a LeBron James, not a Musk, not a rich, famous rapper, but just who you are in terms of being able and having enough ego and testosterone to take care of what you're supposed to take care of. It's just basic. But we've ripped that out of boys and men. Now we got lonely boys and girls. See, I just went on a tangent. Now we got lonely boys and girls boys sitting in basements, lonely men sitting in basements. You know, I heard a statistic that men, that on average, a good 60, 70%, 80% of men who are between the age of 18 and 25 have never approached a woman individually to actually say, hey, how are you doing? I'd like to get to meet you. Think about that. And women wonder why they can't find a good man. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, but yet we follow it to the T. There's something wrong with you being abusive. There's something wrong with you being mean. It's something wrong with you beating people. It's something wrong with you hollering at people. It's something wrong with you not taking care of your responsibility. But that's not toxic. Because if it's toxic, you throw the whole thing out. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're throwing men out. Me being a man does not take away from any other woman being a woman. And I reject when people argue that every time you say something that a black woman does wrong, you're attacking black womanhood. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Sometimes, just like men, black men, you're wrong. And if I can get called out, you can get called out. That's all I'm saying. But we have a generation where they take everything as an affront. You're just wrong. You're just literally wrong. Just like you'll tell us every single time, except today men just roll over. Okay. And I don't get it. The problem is it starts in school. And so in that instance, Al is right. We need to get into the schools and figure out, what are you teaching these boys about not being boys and not growing up into strong, responsible men and taking care of families? And I mean family as in older than you and younger than you. Where are we going? All those things that we threw out that we thought were passé. And I'm going to talk about it later about being politically correct, choosing those politically correct things that don't work for us as black people. And it has destroyed our entire culture, our community, and everything. And we're just supposed to just roll over and just, take it because it is. I say no. It's time for men in Milwaukee, black men, to step up and do their job and become the leaders and the providers. Well, what if I don't want a man to provide for me? Then don't have him provide for you. Step off. Bye.
But if you do, he needs to be ready. Educated, practical, but understanding this is what it takes to be a man. Beating women is not a man. Taking advantage of women is not a man. Human trafficking women is not a man. You're trash. I'm just saying.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. YouTube Pro, you can go to at 101.7 The Truth and search us on YouTube. Do you agree with the bipartisan decision that Governor Evers and the Wisconsin Republican legislature made today? 62% say yes, 38% say no. I wonder why. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me go back to the beginning. Hey, what's up, Quanda? How's everybody? Lucretia, Sincere, Ronnie Ray Real. Yo, what's up? What up? SE, what's going on? Mao. Willie. Hey, what's going on, Willie? 77. Why is it like that in our culture? I don't know. Oh, because that's what we were taught. Or we weren't taught certain things. So Sincere said, hope your weekend and Monday went well. It was okay. Sincere said, been in call on for 2 days and can't complain because I heard it's cold there. I thought, where you at, Sincere? Where you from? SC said, thank you. Had a wonderful mother. Yeah, I hope y'all had a wonderful Mother's Day. Let me see. Thank you, Mal. Prayers and condolences to the family of Bill Finlayson. Mal said, I don't know about the decision. The future will give better outlook on the outcomes of that decision. I think I was talking about all sorts of things. Am I open? Sharon said, Doctor, listen to who you're speaking to notice the cadence. Just stop talking. Well, here's your problem, and here's what you don't understand, Sharon. There's a delay between phone and caller, and so sometimes people speak over each other. So no one's being rude. That's just how it goes. And sometimes you pause, and they pause, and then they think the other person isn't talking, so they talk, and it goes back and forth. So don't get all, up in arms about it. I'm not going to stop talking. They're not going to stop talking. Sometimes we interrupt each other. It's called a conversation. So I'm just saying. Aaron said you will be the Willie, the post worker, and still be a real man. I don't know where that came from. Miles said, Dr. Ken, schools are not the reason why some people act out of character. They're influences from the web, podcasts, and entertainment. Some of it is. And I'm not saying school is the reason why, but there were things we were taught in school that we're not getting taught today because those things built confidence, like reading and writing and arithmetic. And the better you could do, the better you can go, the farther you believe you can, like all those things. We've changed and dumbed down so much of stuff because we thought our kids couldn't do it. Because teacher expectation is the number one reason why kids do well in school. Parents can holler at you till you're blue in the face, but when you go to school for 6 hours a day in your waking life, you spend more time in school than you do at home awake, right? You wake up in the morning, hour and a half, you're gone to school. You come home, you're up 3-4 hours, you go to sleep. But those 6, maybe 7 hours you spend in school, think about that. You spend Monday through Friday, your waking hours, the longest time in school. They have a significant impact on who you are, who you become, who you can become. So if a teacher says you're great and you believe you're great, you'll be great, even if it's average. You'll at least remain average. A C student can graduate just like an A student. Like all those little things, and we forget about that. We forget that public school was created so people can keep control of your kids. Oh, we need to give them a public education. Yeah, but somebody else gets to tell what the public education is, not the parent. So the parent has to pay attention. The parent has to counter those things that are anti-culture, anti what you want them to know, and at least expand the story, give them all of the information. We don't even teach slavery in schools anymore. We don't teach it in the way that it should be taught, like watching Roots. We don't teach that stuff anymore. And I think it's insulting. But our parents weren't taught that. So they don't know. And it's not their fault. We keep wanting to blame parents, but when parents weren't taught something, and then the kids weren't taught something, it's incumbent upon the community to make that information available, which is why we have Milwaukee Black Talk, where even if you disagree, you can still have a conversation about it. You can still go, I disagree. And then we cool. We got to get over this, everybody in lockstep unison and agreeing and being kumbaya, because you know what that does? Yeah, that stops people from having an alternative conversation or an alternative idea from seeing the light of day. And that's what we try to not do. People, why you always let that person talk? Because they have an alternative thought. They think about it a little different, and maybe they just might be right. I'm just saying. That's why we're here. That's why we want them. That's why we want to remain here, because we want to give you the opportunity to speak your mind and give the community something they don't always have. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 is coming up next.
coming with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a Canine Companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833. I'm just in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood. 833-212-1017 is the number. But before I get rolling with my top 5 at 5, Jay, you are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Good.
So I guess my question was, with the whole money thing in MPS, I believe, where the money's going is all right. But what I really want to say is, what about the charter schools? Like when you have kids that go to charter schools that take money, they were MPS students that go to charter schools, but then they get in trouble or something like that, and they have to come back to MPS.
Okay.
And MPS has to bear that burden on children, but they don't have that money because that money went somewhere else for that year. Is there something that can go in place that they can do something about that? Because I feel like that's kind of a burden on MPS that we see all the time that I don't think no one's really addressing.
It's not. So here's what happens. When I take a kid, I think it's about $15,000, $16,000 a year, right? If a kid decides they're going to leave MPS and go to a charter or choice, and there are public charter schools that are run by MPS, so that's a misnomer. There are a lot of charter schools that are run by public entities. But let's say private. Let's say you go to a private choice school. They don't pay that school $16,000. They pay that school like $8,000 something. The first year that kid is gone, MPS retains $16,000 and they pay the other school $8,000. If that doesn't work out and that kid goes back to MPS got paid that 1 year. Whether or not it takes 2 years or 3 years to go back, that's irrelevant. But here's the kicker. Why would I pay MPS money for a student that's not there? But yet that's what happens.
That's true.
That's what nobody talks about, that other side of the equation, where if a kid leaves MPS, why would I give you more money when you're working with less students? You should need less money. But instead, they always want more.
That's true. I can really understand that. I mean, I can understand the whole money thing. And I guess I'm a Milwaukee resident, and like referendums. I mean, is there something they could do referendum-wise that we could put more money into MPS? I know it's a dying system, but I mean, we got to do something to make it better. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just not going to get better overnight. I'm just like, if we actually go out there and vote and, put our money where our mouths at, I feel like we could change something, but no one really wants to do that.
Change, Jay? What exactly do we change?
I mean, I guess give the teachers more incentives. I'd say we talk about teachers and how bad the teachers are. They don't want incentives. You pay every teacher the same. The union gets their money through every teacher. The more people in the union, the more the union gets money, and that's it. They don't want teachers taught by merit because they believe that not all children are equal. And so if you don't do your job and educate a child, I should not get paid less because I do a poor job. We want everybody to get the same. That's what you got with unions. That's what we got. There's no incentive. You don't get incentive for doing more because they'll say it's unfair. And I get that. I understand the whole union concept and everything like that. But also just talking like more parent involvement. Like I feel like, we have
you can't make a parent be involved. State law already basically you can't force a parent to be involved in their kid. Other than sending them to school in a reasonable fashion, and school is only compulsory to age 16.
So basically we have a dying system that's really not going to change unless, everybody takes their own accountability, basically.
Correct. But here's the issue that we have today, Jay. You ready?
Yep.
25% of the population that are in schools right now aren't going to school. You know why?
Why is that?
They weren't born. People are having less children.
Okay.
So if there are less children, if I got a budget for, I'm just picking a number, 80,000 students, and then now I only have 40, why would I give you the same amount of money for the same students when you have less students? But that's what people are asking for. They want more money in a system with less kids. Not just inflation numbers, but they want everything. They want extra this, extra that.
The children aren't being born. This is only going to get worse because in the future, there's still less children born. There are no school-age children going to school, so eventually there'll be no school-age children in middle school, high school, and especially college. It just hit college this fall. 25% drop-off. Yeah. Those kids weren't born. It's not that they're not going to college. They weren't born to go to college. So now we're here. But we're trying to run the same system we had 50 years ago today, and it don't work.
No, I mean, I agree with you on that. You can't just keep, I guess, throwing money at something when the numbers aren't there and don't call for it. We just got to change the system.
So what you going to do to change the system, Jay?
I've been thinking about it. It's so hard because you see these kids and you see some of them struggling, and we just don't have the resources to reach the ones that are struggling. And it's hard. It's hard to see these kids out here that, they want to do better, but they just don't. We don't have the resources to just get to them.
But that's because they don't want to use them. They don't want to do it in the way that it's going to take to fix them, to fix them. That's terrible. To help them. I need you to stay after school. Yeah. They don't want to stay after school.
Exactly.
My times are locked. We used to have after-school programs, and they just threw everything to a CLC now. So now you got to travel in a car to go somewhere. Like it just makes no sense.
You're right. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, and I feel hurt because it's a system that I came out of, and now it's a system that's just dying, and just you see these kids, and you just shake your head. I mean, just the test scores, and you just see the kids and the language they speak and the English they speak these days. It's just you're like, what are we teaching our kids? How are we going to ever be better when the kids just get taught crap? So. That's all I gotta say. I'm just heartbroken by it.
Well, consider what it is you can do to fix your heartache and help fix the system.
Yep. All right, sir.
Thank you much. I appreciate you, Jay.
All right. Have a good one.
Take care. 833-212-1017 is the number. Now, there's a young person who cares about what happened because they're a product of a public school. They understand the power that a public school can have in the life of a person that can help build. All these great people, look around, all these great people you see around Milwaukee, these older black folks that's running and leading and running and gunning and doing things, they went to public school. A lot of them didn't go to private school. A lot of their parents couldn't afford private. They could afford private school, but they went to public school and graduated and made it and did wonderful. Built businesses and did great things. So it can happen. The question is, does the public want that to happen? And right now, I'm kind of hearing a resounding no. Now, this story has me a little thrown because every time I see the city that's doing a great thing move one step forward, they take 4 steps back.
Number 5.
This from CBS58.com. City of Milwaukee moves to bagged leaf collection this fall. Didn't they say they was going to continue it? And aren't you supposed to do it in the fall anyway? So then what are you doing different? Nothing. As usual, we get to sit here and watch the city do nothing as it relates to making sure we have proper pickup of our leaves. Don't you pick up leaves in the fall anyway? But they said you could still rake it to the curb. So after a long winter, leaf collection process was delayed due to heavy snow, ice storms. Winter weather was then followed by severe flooding, leaves left over, complicated rain drainage. Now, Mayor Johnson wants to change the city's approach so crews will be prepared for prepared for a chance in weather patterns. I think that means change. Mayor Johnson said that's why we're moving forward with a new approach this fall. Residents are going to have some options. Residents will have the option to bag their leaves for collection using paper lawn bags. We will also continue to support traditional rake-out collection as well. So you want us to do the work that you're supposed to do. Okay. The new system will be in place this fall. Meanwhile, we're still waiting to get them picked up. Well, DPW is asking those who choose to bag their leaves to leave them at the curb for a more efficient pickup. So I got to pay for bags to pick up leaves that you're supposed to pick up on the curb without a bag so that I can do your job for you, but we still got to wait till the fall. What am I missing? What exactly am I missing? Oh, well, at least there's the Wisconsin Elections Commission. At least they're doing some good.
Number 4.
Wisconsin Election Commission, story from CBS 58, Meredith Hackler. Wisconsin Elections Commission unanimously voted last week to send a letter to the Postmaster General regarding mail delays that occurred this past election day. This comes after several clerks across the state reported absentee ballots not arriving on time during the April election. And when the Wisconsin Elections Commission surveyed clerks across the state, nearly 2/3 of them reported problems with the mail. That includes elected officials in Milwaukee who say 269 ballots weren't even counted. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot in a close race. That same survey done by WEC, that's the Wisconsin Elections Commission, found that half of clerks received complaints and concerns from their voters, too. So, the commission said they heard from the Postal Service about the delays. U.S. Postal Service told Wisconsin Election Commission one reason mail was late is because they didn't have as many transport options. In previous elections, special circumstances were imposed that allowed them to approve more overtime. Due to budget constraints, the post office wasn't able to approve that, which is why Wisconsin Election Commission is also sending the letter to Wisconsin's elected officials in Washington. About 300 of Wisconsin's 1,850 clerks responded to the survey, so it's unclear how many ballots in the state weren't able to be counted due to mail delays. WEC is hopeful this issue will be fixed by the primary in August. If you'd like to read the letter, you can just go to their website, click the survey results, and scroll down to page 290. Oh, by the way, do you drive, Zach? You drive a car? You might want to cover your car tonight.
Number 3.
There's a strange phenomenon going on tonight. So they believe overnight that there's going to be, well, here's what they're asking. Tonight, millions of birds will fly over Wisconsin during one of the busiest migration nights of the season. Scientists are issuing a statewide lights out alert, asking people to turn off non-essential outdoor lights to help keep the birds safe. So what exactly does that mean? That means that as the birds fly over, they might drop poop on your car, on your house, on your roof. And then what do we call Milwaukee then? I got a great name. Poop City.
Number 2.
This from WISN.com. Milwaukee police are investigating a double shooting on the city's north side that left 2 people hospitalized. The shooting happened around 11 p.m. on last night near 21st and Concordia. Video from the scene shows evidence markers in the street as police blocked off an intersection. 21-year-old was taken to the hospital after being shot. A second victim, 19 years old, showed up later at the hospital for treatment. Both are expected to survive, and no arrests have been made. And finally, I think this is an example of political correctness that is actually harming Wisconsin.
Number 1.
You tell me what's missing from this story. It's from Fox6Now.com. It was a story written by Ashley Sears and the Fox 6 News digital team. Racine police, Racine, because I always say it wrong. Racine police are looking for a man they call a trouble. He's had several run-ins with law enforcement, from drug dealing to child sexual assault. 35-year-old fugitive Richard Raun, R-A-U-N, his legal name, although he's known to many as Nixon. He's a nuisance, racing police and U.S. Marshal Task Force Officer Scott Keelan said. We've been dealing with him in the city of Racine for quite a while. After going to prison for selling cocaine, the 35-year-old was put on probation and then disappeared. In 2023, he found himself in trouble again, charged with sexually assaulting a young child in Kenosha. Keelan said, we take it very seriously involving a crime against children, and we're committed to looking for him and locking him up on this. 35-year-old has Dark Love tattooed on his right forearm. He's known to hang around Racine, Kenosha, and towns up north. Keelan added, keeping someone like him off the street is a win for us. Ron is described as being 6'5", weighing 180 pounds. Anyone with information about Ron's whereabouts should contact the U.S. Marshals at 414-297-3707, and you will remain anonymous. What's wrong with this story? Anybody? What's wrong with this story? Like, what's missing from this story? And I know people are, I can't tell you, always talking about. But what's wrong with this story? They showed a picture, and they never said in the story that it was a white male. Every time black people do something wrong, we're always told and we always know, he's described as a black male, 19 years of age. Y'all have his foot size, his shoe size, his sock size, his shirt size, his collar size. But when it's a white guy, you don't even tell somebody he's white. Well, maybe they'll find out by the name Ron. You know how many black people are named with white names? Well, mostly all of us. But anyway, I digress. You never said he was a white male, 6'5", weighing 180 pounds, which means he's fairly slim, has a tattoo on his right arm that says Dark Love, 35 years of age, shoulder-length hair, but he might cut it. Like all those things, y'all just missed it in the story. Why? Because we're being politically correct. We don't put the race of a person. This is not a victim. This is an actor who committed multiple crimes and is on probation. And you didn't have the temerity to actually tell us his race? This is why you have to be careful with what the media tells you. This is why you need something like a 1017 The Truth. Now, let me go back to my YouTube poll, which is on, do you agree with the bipartisan decision? Final vote, 62% said yes, and 38% said no. Hopefully it'll go to the larger legislature on Wednesday. They'll vote yes. It'll come out of committee on Tuesday. And we'll have some tax and gas and school relief. But right now, my question is this. My second poll question of the day. Based on this story, should race be included when you describe people in a news story? Yes or no? Should race be included when you have a story, especially like this, where you're looking for a guy that sexually assaulted a child, allegedly, 35 years old, with a Dark Love tattooed on his right forearm? He's 6'5", 180 pounds, and you forget to tell us he's a white male. God forbid I walk around with the same thing and I'm a black guy. But then I get guns pointed at me and handcuffs put on me only to find out, oops, wrong person. My second poll question of the day, you can go to the YouTube chat. Just go to youtube.com/@101.7 The Truth. Log in, and you can answer the poll question. Should race be included when describing people in a news story? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. We got talk and text. We got YouTube chat. And we got calls right here. 21 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we don't leave success to chance. We're designed for it. With strong support, high expectations, and a team committed to excellence, our educators turn belief into outcomes every day. If you believe every child deserves an excellent education, join Milwaukee College Prep. Apply today. Visit mkeprep.com/jobs. Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at UPath Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I need you to pick up on this. Should we? Second poll question. Should race be included in news stories? That gives you ample information to be able to know who you're looking for. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. 833-212-1017 is the number. Todd said, hi, Dr. Ken. Absolutely. Race should be included. Unfortunately, the media moved away from this years ago. I totally disagree. I think it's dumb. You're not being politically correct by making people more unsafe because you don't give an accurate description of a person. Yes, I know people made mistakes. It was a transgender and you called the person a he and it was a she, or you called them a she and it was a he. That's just a mistake. So now they asked the question, hey, do you what would you want to be referred to, or whatever the question is, right? And you're done and you respect the person's wishes. This is a person that committed a crime, allegedly, and you're looking for him. You didn't have the presence of mind to go, oh, by the way, it's a white guy. Or, by the way, it's a black guy. Or Hispanic guy. Or Asian guy. Or like, it just makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. Let me see. Let me see what y'all talking about. Miles said walking away does not make one a coward. Speaking well does not make someone. Anyway, working 9 to 5 does not define one's education, and trade can be both beneficial to us as well as education. It's not just for the. But here's what you don't understand. Here's what you don't understand. You can actually have both. There's no such thing as I'm going to go into the trades and I didn't get an education. You do understand the trades are an education. You got to pass tests. You got to get licensed, like all that. I will never downplay trades. Get both. That way you can play it from both ends. I'm just saying. There's Mr. Medee. Happy this, happy that. I'll go away. You said from Milwaukee But where do you live? Where do you live? Anyway, Miles said, Dr. Ken, what if the parent does not know better? Exactly, that's what I said, and asked the teacher to tone it down on topics like world wars and the dangers of discrimination toward others. What can teachers do? Well, first of all, you should still be teaching it in a way so that they understand it. I learned about World War II in elementary school. I learned that 7 million people from America suited up and got booted and went full rattle battle and went into Europe and saved the Jews and destroyed the Nazis. Like, what? Is that a problem? You could do it in a way that softens it for kids. You could do a way that talks about how America treated black people and how it works today. And all, like, you can do all those things. But we don't do that. We want a happier, nicer, we want people to be happy. We don't want to give them such negative things. That's why they can't put up with nothing now. That's why younger people run into something that's tough, they just walk away. They just give up. They just leave. It's unfortunate. So we have to help younger people build capacity, to build stamina, to build stick-to-itiveness, to be tough. I'm just saying. You're on the lookout to look for somebody, and because of political correctness, we don't tell your race. All that's tied together with education. When your kids are educated, they know better. They hear a story like that and know what's missing. Hey, it's supposed to have this. It's supposed to have that. All those things go together. And if we don't teach our children better, which means if parents aren't going to do it at home, then teachers have to do it in school. The problem is, I don't trust the teachers in the education system to give my children what they need in order to make it in the world. Kathy, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, Dr. Ken. You know, they know better that they're supposed to give out the race to the people, but I noticed that one time, 3 years ago, so I watched that particular station, and I called them. I said, when white people do something, why don't you show the race? Sometimes you may show a face. I said, but why don't you show, well, we don't intentionally so-and-so. Stop acting up. If somebody get me confused with a male or a female, I mean, why are you taking it personal? If you look like that, if you look like what I'm looking at, then that's what you are at that time, because that's what you want to be. Okay, that's what you are. So don't get all confused with because I'm supposed to be gay, I'm supposed to be this or that, that you got a special privilege.
Kathy, you got to get it right the first time. And if you don't get it right the first time, then we destroy you.
Isn't that terrible? First of all, you look at me and you say she looks like a man. I'm not going to get insulted about it. Everybody wants to fake being so sensitive about everything. I mean, get real. I don't give a darn what sex you are, what you want to fake to be. I mean, if I look at you and you look like that, that's what I'm going to call it. Then you can correct me if you want to. Who cares? Somebody say, Kathy, you so-and-so. Well, I care. It's nothing personal. I'm just calling it what it looks like. It was a black cat. It was green. It's a black cat.
Kathy, you hurt my feelings.
Okay, but people.
You hurt my feelings.
I'm going to tell you about people's feelings. Ever since COVID, everybody got this sensitivity to everything. I'm going to tell you what I'm so tired about. I'm tired about the fakeness. Even in my job. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. I can't. Oh, I can't so-and-so. I can't work with the public. Well, you took a job working with the public. Oh, I can't. Well, jump in Lake Michigan and die. Read the book on American authors and die. The population's too big anyway. I got people where I work. I can't. Well, why are you living there? Why are you living? Everybody's got
be nice. Be nice. Don't be talking about people's lives now. Come on.
Yeah. Well, they don't like it. Come get me. I'll tell you where I live at. It's so silly. Everybody's, I'm so sensitive. You're sensitive to being a fake. And everybody, I don't want to whine because everybody else is whining. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I'm going to tell you something. And when they say that guy's up north 6'5", you know what color is? He's going to go live in different people's cabins up north for a little while. But the problem is that...
Are you saying black people can't be 6'5"?
No, I'm saying black people, you're not going to find up north on a regular basis. They kill people and hiding out, and people accept them in and give them drinks at the bar and food. A black person, they're calling them right away.
I think you're generalizing. I think you're generalizing.
I am generalizing. I'm generalizing. It's the truth. It's the truth. No, but Dr. Ken, now you know why they don't do that. You worked around these places for years. Why they don't do it? Because they don't want to show who the person really is. Let people know so we can identify people, so we can find them. If I see somebody 6'5", I can't just run around saying that's the person.
But somebody was taught to do
allegedly.
that, and it went through an editor and a producer and all that, and they still published it. So that means that is an accepted practice by the media.
It's silly. It's all nothing but racism. So when I see stuff in the news, here's the Let's see what channel reported that. I'm gonna track that. And if it happened more than one time, and they called somebody else something, and they were black or this and that, not the white person. I said, why do y'all do that? What reporter was this? Who did this? Why did you report this and not this? You're really doing that community up north for disjustice or raising a Kenosha because you really haven't put the proper ID out. I'm not gonna see a 6'5" man and 180 pounds and guess that that's him.
Or you'll just tag every 6'5" man and say it's him until otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not going to call anybody. I'm just going to make sure I'm not in the pathway.
All right. Thank you much, Kathy.
It's just racism. Yeah, you have a nice day.
And now with the final traffic check of the day, 33 minutes after the hour on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Problems on southbound 43 continue. A broken down vehicle has 2 left lanes blocked at Locust. And we've also got a crash on the ramp from Locust to southbound 43. So big delays through those areas, basically starting from Good Hope Road, solid all the way down. Northbound slowing down from about Beecher Street all the way through the Marquette up to Locust. Southbound 41, heavy ride from Good Hope Road all the way to Capitol Drive. Northbound from North Avenue up to Silver Spring. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 40. Tomorrow, rain likely, but a high of 73. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
Not every order is a big order, but it still matters. At Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More, there are no minimums. So whether you need 1 shirt or 100, you still get the same personalized service, hands-on design help, and high-quality results. Sometimes it's a small team, a quick idea, or something you just want to get right the first time. It's custom apparel without the pressure. Perfect for your business, event, and team. Big Frog makes it easy to create exactly what you need with a local team ready to help every step of the way. Get started today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
You served behind the desk. You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted. You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you. When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
This sports update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Milwaukee Brewers get the Mother's Day weekend sweep against the New York Yankees this weekend. Bryce Terang with a crazy ending to the game.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone! Another Mother's Day miracle for the Brewers. Straight away center field. Number 6 for Bryce Terang, and it's a walk-off for the Crew of the ninth.
The Crew is back at it tomorrow against the San Diego Padres with first pitch at 6:40. No lottery luck for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Pick number 10 will be made by the Milwaukee Bucks.
The NBA draft lottery was Sunday, and the Bucks did not move up. They sit at 10. The Washington Wizards earned this year's first pick, and draft day is June 23rd. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. 101.7 The Truth, breaking news.
Hey, I want to remind you from 101.7 The Truth that ABC News is reporting that one U.S. passenger, one American passenger, has now tested positive for the hantavirus on board the ship. That number has now risen to 11, including 2 people confirmed to have died from the virus and 1 person who remains suspected to have died from the virus. And so those folks that were arriving at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, 15 are in quarantine units. 1 person tested positive is in a biocontainment unit. 2 other American cruise ship passengers were flown to Atlanta for further assessment and care. So they've got some in Atlanta, some in Nebraska, but one of those passengers, a U.S. passenger, has now tested positive for hantavirus. Reports say it's not as contagious as the COVID virus, but you still need to be careful, especially when you're in a room or sleeping in the same bed with people or having contact with people. So we'll keep you apprised as best we can with breaking news. So that's from ABC News in New York. So we got to keep a watch on it. We most definitely do. And so before the break, we were just asking the question whether or not, and I read a story in my top 5 at 5, my number 1 story as to regarding this guy, Richard Rawn, who also goes by Nixon, 6'5", 180 pounds. And the story from Fox6now.com didn't give his race. They just gave him as a 35-year-old with a tattoo that reads Dark Love on his right forearm, known to hang around Racine, Kenosha, and towns up north. And he's described as 6'5", weighing 180 pounds. They have his picture on there. He looks to be a white male, but they didn't describe his race as a white male. And so I just found that odd. I just found that bizarre. Mao, it's not going to be another outbreak. It's significantly harder to catch hantavirus because you have to literally live with the person and be there, sleep in the bed with them, stuff like that. So they're in quarantine. There are people in quarantine. So at some point you just have to be careful and watch. The things are changing rapidly, and so you want to make sure you just keep up. And some people have gone home, quarantine. It's all over the place, and updates are different from different places. Are numbers important at this point? It's somewhere around 15 to 18 people. Yeah. Let's just follow the CDC and see what they say, and we'll go with that. But take care of yourself. If you know people that are traveling or people that are going places, make sure hey, I ain't shaking folks' hand. Hey, how you doing? Hey, wave. You get a wave. You get a look. You get deuces. Something like that. 833-212-1017 is the number. So that's what we were talking about before. And then when Kathy was talking about how she felt. Crystal said, wow, she sounds sensitive. What makes her sensitive? Like, what makes you sensitive? Maybe you have a right to not listen to somebody else's, what you believe to be, nonsense. Like she has a right to speak her mind and say what she feels, just like you do. So why call somebody sensitive? Because you might be sensitive in that instance? We got to stop transferring our values to other people and saying something wrong with them. That's how she feels. That's what she believes. That's how she feels. That's what she believes. You could agree with it. You could disagree with it. It's not going to change her. It's like it's not going to change you. So, Mouse said, I hope not either way, Dr. Ken, especially with the scientists going missing or dying. That's a whole different thing. Those missing and dying. Have y'all heard the story about the missing or dying scientists that were all tied to nuclear weapons and the nuclear field that just kind of poof, died mysteriously, disappeared? We don't know. Who knows what that's about? It's a conspiracy, so we don't know. But in the YouTube chat, we do have another poll that's in the YouTube chat. Our second poll question of the day: should race be included when you describe people in a news story? It's a simple yes or no. I think it keeps people safe. I think it keeps people understanding and knowing that there might be somebody in their community that they need to watch, that they need to look after, because, some people get a little, I'm just saying, they get a little, I think, unfortunately, we're too accepting of everybody instead of being cautious. There's nothing wrong with being cautious. And if somebody gets offended that you're being cautious, if you're the scared old white lady and you call the police on a black guy, don't freak out. If you're the white guy and somebody calls, don't freak out. Be reasonable. Keep control of your emotions. That happens. It's unfortunate. Yes, it is. It shouldn't happen. But it does. You can't control somebody else's emotions. So don't respond to them in a negative way and then get yourself in trouble when there wasn't anything. You already know when the police show up and they heard white person, black person, it has a propensity to be negative in and of itself. Take care of yourself. Control your emotion. And, you ready? Record the interaction. Turn your cell phone on. Turn your video on. Turn your audio on. Record it. Record it. Now, remember the other one. Did you agree with the bipartisan decision to send money to schools and help with taxes and things of that nature that the governor and the Republican legislature, the committee, the Republican leadership came up with, that's going to committee tomorrow and to the full legislature on Wednesday. Hopefully they'll be able to sign it next week. That will help out some folks here in Wisconsin. Let me go check. I'm just rolling through all these talks and texts and threads. I know you said she sounds sensitive, but she wasn't. She was just speaking her mind. And this isn't for you, Crystal, so don't take it that way. To give criticism without solution makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. So George said, you can try to silence a voice by not picking. Anyway, Louisiana, Virginia, or Tennessee, the fact remains they are trying to diminish the black vote. They who? Qualify it. What exactly are you talking about? I pray to God this wakes the people up. Avoiding talking about it won't change anything, black man. Are you talking to me? Calling me black man, or are you talking to other people? I don't sit up and talk about every single thing every single day and beat it into the ground. I've talked about it, and I've moved on to other stories because things that are happening. I like to stay in the moment of what's happening today. So, I'm just saying. Oh, well, that's life. And I talk about things I want to talk about that I think people might find interesting, not what everybody else wants to talk about, and stay stuck in a story that's not in Wisconsin and nothing we can actually do to change it. If we could do something to change, you want to give me a solution to it? What's the solution to that? Give me a solution. Give a solution to it. Don't just talk. You can say nitpicking. I'm nitpicking a story that's over a week old. You are so, what's the word I'm looking for? You are so full of passive-aggressive nonsense that it's hard to understand what it is you're even talking about. Here you are trashing me because I'm not talking about something you want to talk about. Really? Really? My suggestion, start your own YouTube channel and talk about it yourself. How's that? I'm just saying. You can either put up or be quiet. Notice I didn't say shut up because people say that to me. Not voting for the Republicans. What does that even mean? See, that part of the problem in terms of that drives me crazy, not George, I'm not really thinking about George, black people, is that we think if you don't follow the Democratic playbook 110%, then there's something wrong with you and you're rejected. That's unfortunate. But you got to, it's the same thing every day, all day. It's amazing. You got to talk about what we think you're talking about. You question people being black. You question their manhood. You question, Thank God I'm strong enough to take it. Oh, that's right. That's what real men do. They take criticism. They repeat what people say, even when it's passive-aggressive and they're really talking about you. But you read it anyway. Why? Because I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable. I was talking about that earlier. Being a real man, being direct and speaking and not being afraid of bucking a system or voting Democrat or Republican because somebody tell you to vote Democrat or Republican. How about you dismiss both of them? How about you ask for a return on your vote and when you continually get nothing, supporting something that doesn't give you anything? That doesn't make you a Republican. That just makes you cognizant of the fact that people are using the black community, our culture, and everything against us, and we still don't ask for anything. And what you're saying is that if a black person votes for a Republican, they're no longer black? You know what my response to that is? Watch this. Crystal said, I find it interesting you skipped over the comments about Trump and school choice stealing. I didn't see it. And I don't have everything. I can't read everything, but what? Show me where. She said, this is a radio station. Shocking. I didn't know that. Where's the comment about Trump? Where? So let me scroll back. Zach, you see it anywhere? Because they said there's a comment in here about Trump, but I don't see it. I don't see a comment in here about Trump. So I'm all the way back to Mao and Sincere saying, there you go, Ken, talk that talk. And Mao giving me 4 bells. That's all I see. So I don't see it. I find it interesting. All you do, Crystal, is spend time to try to call me out about something. And I don't really know what you're talking about, but okay. She said, this is going out to the entire community and beyond. We have a right to have an opinion. Sure you do, but you're the host, but this is not your station. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even understand what that means. Help a brother out.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road? My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
Your phone isn't worth it. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
Let me go through here. Hey, what's up? That one guy. You late. So we had a question. Should race be included in news stories? 85% said yes, 15% said no. Crystal said, this is the only radio station I've heard hosts tell people to stop listening. I said, no, I said they don't have to listen. It's a choice. And then George tipped in and said, their sister station 620 does the same thing. And I said, and your point is, like, but. Bruh. Crystal said, why would the host tell people to stop listening and start their own YouTube channel? Because all you do is complain here, but you don't give any solutions. Tell us what we need to do. Join the conversation. Don't just bash. YouTube channel isn't the same as a radio station. These are public airwaves. No, they're licensed airwaves. And maybe I need to explain that tomorrow. I'm not an FCC guru, but these are public airways and you're licensed. And so you got to understand how that works. It doesn't work the way that you think it might work. You don't just get to say anything you want to say. So you're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm going to stay away from FCC. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I think a show called Truth Unfiltered is coming up next, and so you'll get me again for another 2 hours. That was rebroadcast from last night on 620 WTMJ. God bless, take care. Thank you, Zach. Love y'all. I'm out.
Be quiet.
Chicken head. Chicken head. Chicken head. Chicken head. Chicken head.